A warning before you listen.
What you are about to hear is not meant for children, nor for the faint of heart. This is an unfiltered retelling of ancient myths, told as they were born, raw, violent, unsoftened. Expect scenes of brutality, curses that linger, betrayals that reshape fate, and a hunger for power that shows no mercy. These myths were never meant to lull children to sleep. They were forged in blood, shadow, and fire. So ask yourself, are you ready to hear them as they were first told? Sources and references can be found in the episode description. Chapter 7. From the Titans epic, Origins of Power and Makers of Tyranny. The Wedding Night. A womb that refused the throne. That night, there were no songs in the earth, no cheers from the mountains, not even whispers from the wind. The world had curled in on itself, as if the entire cosmos had turned into a bed. A royal wedding, the wedding of Cronus. The killer who tore the sky was about to be joined by a woman who did not resemble a bride, but the ghost of the first woman, the first sin walking on two legs. Rhea walked the long corridor without scent, without jewels, without tears. She wore something between fabric and nakedness, as if her body conspired with the light to expose everything that could not be spoken. Her hair cascaded down her shoulders like strands of a murdered sun. She did not walk to surrender, but to make the earth crawl toward her. When she stood before the throne, she did not bow, nor bless, nor smile. She looked at him as if to say, "I am not yours, but you will burn in me all the same." He reached for her fingers. They were cold, like the hands of the dead, but her eyes burned with a light that was not life, but warning. "At last you've come," he said. "No," she replied. "I came to watch you break on my bed. It wasn't a night of love. It wasn't a sacred vow. It was the first collision between two empires, a throne that saw the body as a gateway to power, and a womb that saw the throne as a curse meant to be blown apart from within." Inside, everything was dark, except her body. A strange light trembled on her thigh, climbed her neck, and gathered between her breasts like the flash of lightning awaiting detonation. He undressed her, not gently, but like a man tearing open a book of flesh, searching for a prophecy never yet written. She lifted his chin with her eyes and said, "You're not touching a body, you're signing a prophecy." He moved in to kiss her, like a man sipping from cursed water, knowing the first drop would be a flood. But she stared at the ceiling, not in awe, but counting the cracks from which her soul would soon escape. When he covered her with his body, it wasn't an embrace. It was invasion, a planting of power in a womb that did not welcome, but resisted. Inside her, there was no pleasure, only rupture, only a quiet rage breathing beneath the skin. When he caught his breath, he said, "Now you are mine." And she, whispering like poison across his chest, replied, "No, you are inside me now, and you will not leave whole." At midnight, she did not scream aloud, but moaned like time itself suffocating. It wasn't pain, it wasn't lust, it was rebellion, born in a womb that had begun to hate. This was the first touch between an era that sought dominion and a woman who knew she could birth the one who would tear it down. And when Cronus slept like a conqueror who had finished his siege, Rhea stayed awake, counting what had not yet been born. She traced a sentence on the wall of silence. He plants no love, he plants a prophecy that will devour him. At dawn, the sun rose without light. Cronus breathed beside her, confident, unaware that the first thunderbolt was forming, not in the sky, but in a womb that no longer believed in his throne. That night was no wedding. It was the night a king slept upon his queen's chest, unaware that her chest had become the blade, her womb the trench, and the body he conquered the very earth that would one day dig his grave. This chapter of the epic has come to an end, but remember, what you've just heard is not a record of facts, but the echo of a myth, a story born from the imagination of the ancients, etched into the long memory of humankind. If this tale stirred something in you, if it opened a door to reflection or wonder, don't forget to support the channel and share the journey with those you love. And in the comments, tell us which moment in this chapter struck you the most and why. We'll meet again in the next chapter of this audio odyssey through time. Until then, farewell.